Hey, my name is Will. This band is called Prairie Clamor, and I'm in a sinkhole in Minneapolis. And today I'm going to play a song called Concrete Love by Prairie Clamor. In a sinkhole. Ghost. It's moving around underfoot for space. I'm dreaming about underfoot. Do you hold true? Trust in you as it pours from above. This concrete love. So concrete I'll wait for in wonder. So deep it drips with color. The facade is a face. It speak up to me. My skin is thought a hollow space. New life has been drawn underfoot. Trust in you as it pours from above. This concrete love. But when I wake up and can't fall back asleep, oh yeah, I'm like that squirrel that's smashed out on the street. Tears to flow profound for what I whisper when you're not around. See, I'm sealed like a gel, I'll drown. Sick maple's the first to change, leaves them all and rose like flame. We call beauty, it calls pain. So sidewalk, teach me what I don't know. Snow. Teach this rock to be a stone. crave so much, and I gave it all to you. Oh yeah. And I keep bleeding, and you keep taking, and I keep waiting, and I trust in you. Oh, do you hold true as it pours from above this concrete love? That was Concrete Love by Prairie Clamor, and I sang it in a sinkhole. What's that I hear? Sounds like the shower head when the water pressure's too high. Well, we all know what that sound means. That means it's time for Will's Thing of the Day. Today's Will's Thing of the Day is Sinkhole Science with Will. Welcome to Sinkhole Science with Will. My name is Will, and today on Sinkhole Science we are talking sinkholes. I get a lot of questions. What is up with that sinkhole where you sing the songs? Can you tell us more? What's the deal with sinkholes? And that's kind of what I want to do today. Just give a lesson about sinkholes themselves, what they are, how they form, etc., etc. And I just want to put a quick disclaimer out there. I am a naturalist by trade, but I am not a geologist. I am not a geographer. So we're really only going to be scratching the surface of sinkholes in this video. That said, there will be a quiz at the end, so I highly recommend that you pay close attention and definitely take notes. So let's just dive straight in. What is a sinkhole? Now, any old hole in the ground is not a sinkhole. By definition, a sinkhole is more defined by how it's formed, and the main way that a sinkhole is formed is when a cave collapses underground. And so let's look at it. Let's look at some graphics here. Down here we have a cave down in the bedrock, and we got our soil up here, and you can see that there's a little a channel for this soil to be seeping down into the cave, probably maybe carried there by some water, and over time more and more of that soil falls down into the cave, and we have a growing void here. Maybe this top part of the soil is still being held on by some vegetation, but eventually kerthwump, it collapses down and we have our sinkhole. And it might slump down a little bit more. That's just one way this sinkhole can form. Sometimes the cave is just right next to the surface, and the ceiling of the cave collapses in. You got your sinkhole just like that. Now, like I said, this is just one way, because this one is associated with a limestone bedrock here, and a cave here, and a sinkhole here. When you have those three things together, you have karst topography generally. If you have a lot of that going on, areas with limestone or other soluble rocks and soils, bedrock, you get a lot of sinkholes, a lot of caves, and that is what we call karst topography. Oops, there we go. There we go. Now, the sinkhole where I sing the songs is not associated with karst topography up here in the Twin Cities. It's kind of a special sinkhole. It's a very, very special sinkhole. But there are a lot of caves up and down the Mississippi River in this area along the Mississippi Gorge where I sing the songs. But most sinkholes are
going to be associated with Karsten. Where we're going to find that is down in southeastern Minnesota, especially in Fillmore County. So much so that the town of Fountain down there declared itself the sinkhole capital of the USA. And I can confirm that it is. I have been there. Take a look at this satellite view here. All these little splotches out here, those are all sinkholes out in the fields. And this is a tiny view. This is just teeny tiny. If you zoomed out, you would see even more. I mean, it gets so dense, you zoom out, there are so many you can't tell. The best way to see it is to go there yourself down to Fillmore County. Now, I've made several journeys through there. The most memorable one of those was probably made when I was, 11 or 12. I was on a field trip with the J.C. Hormel Nature Center overnight to the Eagle Bluff Environmental Learning Center over in Fillmore County, kind of just maybe kind of between Fountain and Lanesboro over there. So I've driven through here. I still remember that day walking over to the nature center. I lived pretty close with my backpack for the overnight trip, hopping in the J.C. Hormel Nature Center Astro van, probably like late 80s, early 90s. You kind of know the shape, the snub nose, had the Hormel Nature Center logo on the side. They had Hobo Standard as their font choice, just a side note. 12 of us kiddos, maybe 10 to 12 of us kiddos in the back of that van, which was driven by an all-around great guy and recent pillar of the community of Austin, Minnesota, and the director / naturalist of the J.C. Hormel Nature Center, now retired. It was Larry Dolphin. Now, we were already getting rowdy back in the back of that truck. It's hot. It's the middle of July. We're raring to go. It's road trip time. Now, right before we leave, Larry turns around and looks at us 12 kiddos back there and says, "Hey, we are going to be driving through the sinkhole capital of the USA, and I'm going to be counting every single sinkhole I see. And whoever else counts all the sinkholes and gets the closest number to what I count, guess what? You are going to get a free ice cream cone." Larry wasn't lying. We know that Larry Dolphin is an honest man, and we knew that whoever counted the closest surely would get that delicious ice cream cone at the Dairy Queen in Spring Valley on the journey back the next day. So we all glued our eyes to the windows the moment we crossed over from Mower into Fillmore County, scanning the horizon, counting every sinkhole we could. At that moment, it was quite enough for Larry to stick in his Bob Seger CD, unless it was a Pete Seeger CD. My mind is I know it was one of the Seegers, and the thing about Larry is that it definitely could have been either Bob or Pete Seeger. Either one would have fit, so could have been one, could have been the other, could have been both for all we know. But Larry was able to relax and enjoy counting the sinkholes and listen to Bob Seger or Pete. And now looking back as an educator now, I think to myself, what a genius technique to get a van full of kids to be quiet so you can relax for a long drive. So kudos to Larry. Now, you may be thinking, Will, did you get the ice cream cone? The answer is no. I did not count the correct number of sinkholes. I counted too few. Larry counted every time he saw a tree in a field that was a sinkhole, which is pretty accurate. I mean, farmers generally just don't leave trees in the middle of their fields, and I was way more discriminate. It was like upwards of 300 to 400. But Larry was the type of guy who was just planning on getting everyone ice cream cones anyway. I mean, there you go. So, time for the sinkhole quiz. And like I said, this will be graded. Just go ahead and type your answers in the comment section. I will come through and grade each one individually. And without further ado, let's get started. So, who is Larry Dolphin? Is he A, the retired naturalist / director of the J.C. Hormel Nature Center? B, a pillar of the community in Austin, Minnesota? C, an all-around great guy? Or D, A, B, and C? Go ahead and type your answer. Okay, to which musical artist did Larry Dolphin jam in the van? We have A, Bob Seger, B, Pete Seeger, C, Not enough information to say for sure. Could have been either Bob or Pete Seeger. Could have just been both for all we know. Or D, Tom Pease. Number 3, what prize did Larry Dolphin promise to the person who counted the correct number of sinkholes? A, a copy of Wildflowers of Minnesota by Stan Tequila. B, a fresh batch of ash cakes. C, a high five. Or D, an ice cream cone. In which Fillmore County community is Dairy Queen located? A, Preston. B, Lanesboro. C, Canton. Wayland, Wyckoff, Harmony, Mabel, Ostrander, Peterson, Rushford, Rushford Village, Brattsburg, Carmona, Cherry Grove, Clear Grit, Eliota, Etna, Fillmore, Forestville, Granger, Greenleafton, Hamilton, Henrytown, Highland, Lenora, Newburgh, Prosper, York, Beaver Township, Carlton Township, Chatfield Township, Norway Township, or Spring Valley. All right, bonus question right here. If you get this one wrong, you don't, nothing against you, but if you get it right, then bonus points for you. So, which Minneapolis park comprises Minneapolis's most notable sinkhole? Where guess what? Where something is filmed? Is it A, Seven Oaks Oval, B, Bay Triangle, C, Caleb Door Circle, or D, Northwestern Bell Property? Like I said, if you don't get this one, that's okay. And there we are. That's the end of the show. So go ahead and type those answers in the comments. I'll come through and grade them. And this has been Sinkhole Science with Will. My name has been, is, and will continue to be Will. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll catch you on the next edition of Sinkhole Science with Will.
It speaketh to me, a hollow space, hollow space.